evening, good evening, good evening. It's Ruth Marquise, your favorite realtor. Okay, guys, thank you. This is Ruth Marquise, aka your favorite realtor, aka your favorite credit specialist, aka your love negotiator. I help men and women relate, get into quality relationships that lead to quality families, that lead to quality legacies. Wait, sorry. I help men and women relate that get into quality relationships that lead to quality families, that lead to quality communities, that leave quality legacies. Let's build. OMG, major, major tech problems today, but we solved it. Okay. So thank you so much. All right. Wait, I didn't do the root and relationships part. See, I got everything all mixed up, but it's okay. I made it. So glad I made it. Today's topic is going to be greed, the 7 deadly sins of relationships, greed. Check out last week's topic called um, pride. We talked about pride last week. It was so, I thought I was going to do all 7 in one show. It was so much that I had to, like, because this is really what the issue is: pride. A lot of pride. A lot of people thinking of like how, dang, I didn't say, like, people just don't want to, like, they just feel like they label stuff like, I don't want a 6. If I can't get like, I don't want a broke man. I want a man with 6 figures. That's pride. I don't want a single baby mama. That's pride. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but to some extent, some of y'all don't qualify for what y'all talking about. So it depends on the scenario. But it's really pride. It's really, I feel like I'm too good, I'm too better. So now we got another issue called greed. Oh, and you know this, man. Okay, so a lot of these Bible verses, we're going to use a little bit of the Bible to help us understand those truths that we just can't explain. Because I'm telling you, the men talking, the women talking, and ain't nobody making no sense. Men on men's side, women on women's side, and very few people have an understanding of the other side, the opposite side. And when you have an understanding of the opposite side, that's why I feel like a lot of relationships don't work out, because you don't want to understand the other person. How are you going to tell me you want to get in a relationship with somebody else? You mean to tell me you want to get into a relationship with the person on the opposite sex, but you can't see things from their point of view? Don't you sound? Don't that sound stupid to you? Don't that sound crazy? Don't that sound like common sense? Like, you need to understand who you're dealing with. You understand your kids because you were a kid. Maybe you were not that gender, but you understand a whole lot about kids. You're like, you know what? My parents get on my nerves too. Da, 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 da. You can relate. But you've never been a man, women, and you've never been a woman, man. And you just want to see things from your point of view instead of listening. We're talking. We talking too much. Okay? And my Haitian woman voice. We talking too much. And we're not listening. Okay? Bon. Let's move on. Bon means good. The love of money is in a lot of verses, and I used to think the love of money, like, you're not allowed to like money, but I was like, well, I can like it, not love it, God, so we're all good here. Listen, God knew He allowed people to have money in the Bible. Okay, a lot of them have money, one none of them broke. Okay, and so hold on, let me get you. Oh, look at me, gotta block people off the ramp. Okay, let's do it. Yes. The riffraff. I got it. I feel official now because I get to block the riffraff. Spammers. Anyway, so greed, she says, hey Sherelle. She said, hey love, how are you? I'm gonna send those links to you. Um, I'm so glad you could make it. Yeah, we're talking about greed tonight. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I understand men. A lot of women don't, and they don't want to. And I also am a woman, so I understand the woman's side. You know what I mean? And so people, you would get offended if you're all only on one side. See, in my relationship, it's like we on the same team, baby. It's like the war's out there and not in here. You know what? Can I adopt that for our community? The war's out there, not in here. I feel like I need a t-shirt. Don't y'all steal that? I feel like we need a t-shirt. The war is out there. It's everybody else that is trying to keep us from being together or mocking us or trying to start some stuff. But really, black men and black women need to lock arms with each other and understand each other. I feel like we're inching towards it, but then sometimes I feel like, oh my gosh, all is lost. All is lost. And I learned something yesterday from being on a panel. And I was like, instead of us talking about our differences, how about we talk about what we have in common with each other? You see what I'm saying? Like, how about we talk about what we can both agree on? So I'm hoping, like, if you agree with anything I say, and it's normally not your stance, and you feel open minded. A lot of times we don't come to the conversation open minded. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I want to do a lot of fancy schmancy stuff, but they changed everything on me and I cannot. So I'm so sorry about that. I want to show y'all all types of websites and things like that, but they have changed the game on me. So we're just going to talk tonight, have a nice conversation. But let me see if I can pull my screen up on Facebook because I can't see all of your comments. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, here we go. All right. So there we go. Hi, guys. Facebook. Hi, Facebook. He said, so what is your opinion on 50-50 or he pays for everything? Okay, let's go. I talked to my dad, y'all. Okay. I talked to my daddy, and let me tell you, okay, this is why y'all need to stay connected because the people in back in the day, they know what they was doing, okay? I don't know what y'all see. The reason why I feel like I can build with a man because my mom built with my dad. And they did a very good job. Two immigrants. My mom was like, I think my mom was first to the country. You understand what I'm talking about? First to America. Okay. Like your girl would have been in Haiti right now. So mom came, dad came, they worked together, they built up, they bought a home in the suburbs, eventually moved from home to home. They had five children together and they built up a life together. They built up when you get in the older years, now you can see what you have worked for. So in the beginning of like all of these conversations, I was like, well, I was trying to build with a man and that didn't work. So a lot of times in a 50-50 conversation, the women will be like, they'll be dismissive and they'll be like, and the men do it too. They'll be like, you can build 50-50 with a man and he's still going to cheat on you. He's still going to leave you. It really don't matter the 50-50 part or the part of he's paying for everything because I've been a stay-at-home wife. And yeah, you're going to be in some scenarios or situations if you choose that route. So I came out of the relationship thinking like, okay, well, all these other women are asking for somebody to pay all their bills. Like, I'm cute too. Why can't I get that? Right. And then it starts to dawn on you like, how's it going to make sense if, he is paying all the bill? I know it's possible, but the times was getting they was kind of changing already. And it's already done. He cannot pay for everything. You cannot just spend your money on whatever you want to spend your money on. Okay. That's where a lot of dysfunction happens and y'all break up. So this whole 50-50 thing, and I feel like it don't have to be 50-50. I think the hard part about 50-50 is a woman knows intrinsically that she's going to be doing laundry and cleaning and all of that. Like the guys that say 50-50, they don't convince you that they're going to help you wash the dishes. They don't convince you that they're going to sweep the floor. You know what I mean? So it's like all on her. So the fact that it's 50-50, a woman automatically sees that that's extra work that she have to do and you plan on sitting on the couch and paying half the bills. You see what I'm saying? So coming from a woman's point of view, we like, yo, that don't sound 50-50 doesn't sound fair. But in reality, it's 100-100. You have to put all the money in the pot and decide together. Y'all are doing 50-50, but it's still a problem because there's separation. There should be no separation. There should not be mine and yours. It's supposed to be ours. If two is supposed to become one. Y'all not talking about marriage. Y'all talking about something else. So I quickly was like, you know what? I don't know. Like I didn't want to do 50-50, but I'm like 50-50 is better than you paying 100% as a woman. It really is. And I think what I spoke about last night's panel was like um we need to have compassion. Women have to have compassion for men and men have to have compassion for women, right? So in this scenario, right? You have to have compassion for your husband who's working really hard and he's trying to figure out everything by himself, and he may feel abandoned financially. This is the part we're not talking about. We always talking about feelings, but what about his feelings? What about what he has to go through? And so he might feel like he doesn't um like have a partner. And so partnership is what my dad said, long story short. So did I answer your question? So yeah, I believe in working together. So I believe in 100. We put our money together and we work out all the bills. I need this to not be a this or that answer. Sometimes it'll be 50-50. Sometimes it'll be 70-30. Sometimes it'll be 30-70. If somebody lose their job, what you gonna say? How they gonna get their 50%? Do y'all see how that black and white thinking is not it? Y'all just have to work together. If you don't work together, which is what my dad said, you got to work together. And then when the babies come and you have two babies or more, you got to stay home with the kid temporarily. And that then the man has to have the mindset of I'm going to provide for my wife who's home with his little kids, and we cannot afford daycare. You know what I mean? And so he got to pay the bills in that time. And I was like, okay. And then when the kids go to school, then she go back to work or help out or do something or run a business, whatever. That's what I'm saying. It's not so clear and clear. Y'all making it like two people got to go get a job. Both have to get a job. Not, oh, have a business at home and try to run everything while home. It's so much in between. Did I answer your question, Leon? I hope I did. And thanks for watching. All right. So let's see. Do we have any more here? Okay. So let's move on. Love of money equals greed. Every time he says the love of money equals greed. The love of money is the root of all evil. Greed is the root of all evil. It makes more sense when you substitute greed. Greed is loving money so much that you would throw your he said it, yes. Thank you, Leon. Yeah, we gotta work together. Okay. And that's why I said my parents built together and I respect that. They had a great relationship, and I understand when men say, "Why are you waiting for me to hit the finish line?" But a lot of the time, the reason why the women get mad because the guys, it's like they've been played by a guy who acted like he was going to be something. Y'all, like y'all have to understand where women are coming from. It's like if we were talking about children and parents, I would really be taking up for the kids. Like, but you understand, they think a certain way. You know what I mean? Like you gotta understand the mindset, and then you gotta like reach them. They some women are lost, some men are lost, and you don't want to shout them to death. You want to like be that evangelist, right? They'll be like, here's some bread, here's some fish, and let me throw a little Jesus in it so you can come on this side, okay? And you're gonna be much better when we done with you, okay? So we have to like be a little nicer to the women. The men are ruthless with their little comments on the internet. They laughing, they're making fun of the situation. I'm like, this your community, right? You got kids, and they're gonna if you don't care about this situation, you left the world worse for your children. Good luck with that. So that's why this is all important. Now, Hebrews 13, verse 5 says, keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God had said, never will I leave you nor forsake you. So even though it's like, I feel like God is saying, you stop stressing yourself out for a lavish lifestyle, women. And if you're a modest woman, then you realize that, hey, I don't need a mansion day one. Come on, Ruth. You preaching now. I don't need a mansion day one. You do not have to like all these people talking about they got they push present and all these things. I'm like, yo, y'all bougie as heck. Would I love for you to buy me a gift? Yeah, but it's not required that you go buy me a push present. And then I would think you're such a follower. Why did you have to do this? Because you saw everybody else doing it. I would be like, bro, really? I appreciate it, but that was whack. You know what I mean? Like, would I love it? Of course. But you calling a push present doing what everybody else is doing on social media, it's gonna have an eyebrow raise. Like, okay, what else do you copy? Okay, I need men to be leaders. All right, so keep your lives free from the love of money. The love of money will make you down your community and make you say, you know what, I don't care about my people. I want the check. Some presidents did that. They didn't care nothing about their people. They said your change gonna come later, okay? And they made sure that their pockets were laced and their kids got opportunities. Okay, I'm not naming no black presidents. No, I'm not. But go look up the go do your research. Okay, it says be content. So what does this have to do with a modern relationship, Ruth? Your problem is you're not content, you're not happy. And I got evidence and proof for men and women. You're both not happy. The women not happy, the men not happy, and I think it's a problem. I think that um men been acting up for a minute, okay? And the women want to be like men. Yana called them men with skirts, okay? And I remember back in the day, I don't like sharing these things. He was like, "You're just a man with a skirt." Like back in the day, I was like, I guess I was like business lady doing my thing, and and I was like, "Yeah." And you think it's a good thing because he was like, "You." Eve said, "You're a pit bull in a skirt," and I thought that's why I was like, "Yeah, right." But it wasn't good, so I had to learn that. That's the Democratic Party now. Absolutely, I agree. Um, now. So, what does it have to do with modern relationships? You have to be content, and contentment is a state of happiness and satisfaction. Okay, raise your hand if you're happy, put them down. Raise your hand if you're satisfied, put them down. We have a huge problem with people not being happy. America has a problem. You got a bunch of stuff in your house. Your house is not clean and cluttered. It's cluttered with a bunch of stuff because you keep listening to everybody tell you that you need the latest and greatest and all of that. It's two times I had to put all my stuff in storage, or I had to drop. I had to start over twice. And when I turn around and I look at the storage unit with all of my stuff in it, I was like, yo, I work hard for a bunch of stuff. Like, I didn't even want to take the stuff back out. I just was like, this is just material things. Like, I thought it was everything. I was working hard. I was trying to get it together. And I was like, this is all nothing if I don't have peace. So we have to get to a place, life will show you that, I mean, you can not learn a lesson and do it again and again. But me, I like to learn a lesson and move on. Okay. So being content, being happy, I find myself like I would be in crazy situations. Like I would be like coming out of a like crazy relationship and being on somebody's couch or being there all in the room all together and still have contentment. Find a way to be content no matter what you're going through because at least I'm not back there. At least I'm not still going some in somebody else's space if I find myself in a little corner. Like, and people want to criticize and they want to laugh and they want to say all types of crazy stuff. And I just be laughing because I like at the end we're gonna see. We're gonna see because I did not do like that. The I practice delayed gratification a lot, and that's a very important trait for a wife to have is delayed gratification. A lot of men have delayed gratification, except for the ones that just they're ripping and running through all the women. Those the womanizers do not have it, obviously. Ronnie says, I'm happy. He said, I'll be satisfied once I'm finished my platter. Look, look, look. Okay. All right. My daughter made some spaghetti. Okay. I'm going to turn this up. I said, let me not even start because I might go a little later. Okay. So being content and being happy. So therefore, you're not going to be content. Like, okay, let's say you have a certain pool. Or let's be real. Y'all want to be real? Okay. As a mother of four, okay, we had this discussion on a panel. As a mother of four, okay, I had to be content with I was never going to get a high value man. And I was like, well, that's fine because I'm going to make money anyway. So I think women just they want a lot of money, but they don't want to do the work. And I'm like, I don't mind working, so I don't even need that. I don't need to worry if my husband's going to be faithful or anything like that. So I just took it all the way off. I let y'all have the conversation. A high value man. I want a man that makes six figures because I make six figures. And the same women were sleeping with a man with no car or no place. You think I'm lying? I had a real life person making six figures, but she keep dating guys and giving it up to men that are okay. They didn't have it together at all, but then got back online and said, "I want six figures. I want this. I want that." So let's be real. A lot of the stuff we talking about online, it's for sure. Hey, it's for sure. Yes. Let that right man come and love you and treat you well. And you're not in your ego and your pride on a low day when the bills be piling up. You know what I mean? Let him come treat you right and show you, like, baby, I don't got to take you to no $2,000 restaurant date, you know what I mean? Or whatever. I could just do this and that. Like, I remember having that, okay, I hate bringing up this stuff, but I remember having that romantic picnic at the river, okay, and it was so beautiful. And we had our wine. I made us steaks, and we just had the most romantic night. Picnic in the dark, by the river. It was so beautiful. And, like things like that. Men, be more creative. If you have a woman in your life that you feel like you have a shot and this might be the one, go all out, baby, and show her, right, how to be content and satisfied and happy. Let these girls be a little, I'm not talking about every girl, okay? There's two girls that we talking about. Sorry, I'm going off topic. But there's two type of women we're talking about. There's a woman that is like, I don't need no man. I'm this and that. This the girl I'm talking about. She gonna be hard headed. She's not open minded. She's closed minded. Let it go. She don't want no relationship. That's fine. She's still gonna complain. Whatever. Then there's a woman that's flexible and she's just not sure. She's a good woman, but she's not really sure what to expect, and she just doesn't want to get hurt, and she might seem a little like she has to let her fear get to her, and she's the one that you can try to convince, persuade, baby, you don't need that kind of lifestyle. What you really need is me. I need y'all to be confident, man. I need y'all to bring it, like, baby, let me step in for you. Let me help you out. Let me show you what I can do, without all that fancy stuff. And then y'all build together. I don't care how y'all old y'all are. It's not too late to build. You know what I mean? So, and then I realized there's a type of man that he's not going to do the best job possible until his woman and his child come along. All right, moment of silence for that man. That's real. E.T. the hip hop preacher, he was doing everything because he knew his wife was his destiny. Okay, y'all gonna make me cry. Oh, E.T., that was so beautiful. He told the story how he just went to college, would follow his wife, and then you saw how he turned out. He turned out to be this big motivational speaker, but he didn't have the environment. She provided that safe, loving environment, and she permitted she made a safe place for him to grow, right? And she was leading by example. And he became a man that all men, like not all men, but most men look up to, right? And I think that's so true. Sometimes the woman is truly the motivator. The woman is the thing that make you want to be better. Here's the problem. When the woman doesn't have all of her morals intact, okay? Now let me tell you something. Okay, I'll be going rabbit holes. Morals intact. You might have went off, come back, come back to God. Come back center, full center, okay? Come back to yourself, right? You might have listened to people before, you might have did what society said before, and you realize that's not it. Come back to yourself. There's a lot of older women that's not admitting what they were back in them days, but the men know what you was doing, okay, ma'am? Your reputation. The young people don't know what you was doing, but the men know, and they are now respected elders. That's all in the past now, okay? You can tell by them kids they be having outside of the marriages. Let me stop rude. Stop being messy. Woo! Okay. He says they only want the money to live a general standard set by an unrealistic society. Okay, they only want the money man. Oh, okay, the money man to live a general. Yes. So modern women have a fairy tale playing in their head that this man is going to come save you and he has a ton of money. And no. What if he never comes and you sitting there by yourself later and you was not one of them people that like being by yourself? Some of y'all will, and some of y'all won't. All right, so we got that done. Beat that with a stick. Happy or satisfied? How many people happy, satisfied? We said that outside the bedroom. Think about your relationships. Who was happy and satisfied outside the bedroom? I know everything better be okay with that plug. All right. So let's talk about the unhappiness in the women and the unhappiness in the men. Women are not happy with these three things. Their unhappiness shows that the looks, they expect men to be finer. It's like they're disappointed. The height, they want the man that's taller. Can you be taller, please? Whatever tall you are, I want you to be more. This is greed. Anyway, money, make more. It's never enough. You know, we got to be careful. But let's flip it to the men. Flip it to the men. You're not a good woman because you had a child. That was my whole revelation because I'm doing videos on there's a good woman, blah, 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 blah. And here come the men in the comment section. Where are these good women at? And where the ones with no kids at? Where the ones with no kids at? Men, I am not I am not that girl that's going to push a single mother on you. But sir, at this point, if 70 to 80% of our women already had kids, it ain't nothing you can do to start over. You know, we can't just whatever. I know y'all say y'all want to go to these younger girls, but good luck with that. Um, the average black woman probably has a child. I don't know where you can like find it in your heart to kind of like, but if you, sir, are waiting for the top 20% of women to choose you and you are making average money, and this woman knows she can possibly, or she thinks she could possibly get a better guy than you, she's never going to choose you. And she's never going to get she might not get the guy she wants because only 10% of those women get that high earner status. So everybody wants the same people. So my thing is, if you don't have the six figures, then you're average man. If you have a child, then you're average woman. Sorry, but it looks looking like by the time y'all 50, y'all gonna lift that whole single mother standard if you really want to get married. My advice is get you. I'm not saying you cannot get a woman with no children, but they be the ones with the highest of expectations. So if you're going to start your family, you're going to have to figure it out. Um, some men cannot do it. I'm not telling no man to have no kids to go find somebody with kids. Not me. I get it. I understand. But if you have kids and you want to sit there and shun a single mom and you're a single dad, shame on you. For real. Let's see what he says. He says, in other words, they want what they can't have. No matter what they have, he's never good enough. Exactly. But guess what? The men are the same way. Not to the extent of the women, but the women men are talking a lot of trash about single mothers. Like y'all feel like y'all better, not y'all, you, but some men feel like they're better than their great grandfather and great grand yeah, your great grandfather and great 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 great. Mind you, back in the slave days, the master was raping the women, okay? Raping the women. And guess what? They still got married. They didn't say you, and y'all been raped and all this and that, and we don't want y'all no more. Y'all having kids by another man. Y'all been dealing with single moms for forever. It's just this new time and era, and I get it. And I tell single mothers, you cannot be like putting your kid, like my kid, come first. Yes, your kid come first when it comes to safety and when it comes to like abuse, right? But what your husband says has to go. If you can be a single mother, I believe it's some brothers that really it don't bother their soul. That's where I'm at with it. It don't bother their soul to have a single mother. It don't. Just be real. A lot of men, they like, I don't even care about all that, but they talking about like if that woman fine enough, right? If she's doing what she need to do, she's agreeable, she's cooperative, then I'm just gonna be who the man I want to be. Then they be bold and go against the grain. But what society's telling them, we're banning marriage. The men are boycotting marriage. Some of them are boycotting black women altogether, and they're saying no single mothers. And say that if you have no kids, but if you have kids, please don't let that leave your mouth. You'll be the biggest hypocrite in the world. The Bible says, "Judge not, lest ye be judged." When he was about to stone that lady that was having was caught in the act of adultery, he said, "Some of y'all was there. Hold on." Jesus said, "He who is without sin cast the first stone." Mean they all did it. The men was all doing it and judging the woman for doing it. This is why I want to stop. Now, if I can get the women to bring their little egos down some, I can convince y'all, okay, to be like, she's still a good woman, even though she's a single mother. Like, And at this point, the women like, please don't do me no favors. They're gonna make me cry. We in a mess. Mayday, mayday, Jesus, help us. This is bad. This is where we going. The girl was like, please don't speak for us because we don't want them, Ruth. I'm like, you really do, but okay. All right, he says, single people with no kids should date only no kids people. I agree. Being a step parent to someone's kid, unless they want to, okay? Now, see, that's what I'm saying. Everything is not black and white unless they want to. So what I did was I was like, no, I don't want no guy with I said I don't want a guy with no kids. And in my face, I saw how he's like he was all like bright and then he just like the lights dimmed and then I was like, but what about her? She ain't got no kids. He was like, yeah, but I'm not feeling her. That was my friend. He was not feeling her, and that didn't really go well. She had a bad attitude. Listen, okay, I'm find you a humble single woman with no kids, and you hit the lottery. Humility, humility. Oh, okay, all right. Let me know how that goes. All right, being a step parent. Okay, so I said a man with no kids. I put it back on the table after that incident. Thank God I did because I would have immediately dismissed my partner, and he did not mind dating me with 4 children. He did not mind at all. And there was oh shoot, there was more than one guy that didn't mind, but he was the one I was interested in. Okay, yeah, I was like, if I would have just said, I'm going to judge you based off the fact you didn't have no kids, it's not fair if he wants to do it. Because what I was seeing was every time I dated with somebody that had no kids or something happened to their kid or they don't have their kid right now, right, and they felt like they were single, I felt like I was messing up their life. Like they don't have no freedom. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to feel like that, but it's really my insecurity. And the best thing he likes about me is that I'm a good mother. And so that's really cool. So you kind of know what you get. All right. He says, being a step parent to someone else's kid and you have no kids is not a rewarding position because kids can always say you're not the father, but they need your resources to help them. So date and marry wisely. Okay, so Leon, let me tell you about Ruth. Okay, I agree with you. The kids always talking about you're not the mom, you're not the dad. Well, guess what? I dated and I had a relationship with a single father and I had no kids at the time. It was the entire problem of the situation. Plus, he was not very committed a person. Okay. I realized later on, like, ooh, not a good move. Okay. And so maybe it was the whole reason that happened, that relationship came about is because of that. So I ended up raising her, and by the time she was 16, I was like, I'm not doing this no more. Y'all cannot use me as a babysitter. I have my own kids now. Like, I ain't got time for this. And the girl literally hates me. Okay. So please, let's talk about when the women are like women all the time have bad outcomes with the stepchildren as well. But we don't hate single fathers. Y'all see what I'm saying? We don't hate y'all. Why y'all hate us? That's my only thing. It's like, can we have a little compassion? Women may be a little stubborn and maybe a baby humbled them. Or maybe a couple. I don't know. Depending on how good she look, right? It don't matter. Right? It does. But he says, so yeah, date and marry wisely. But I don't like when people just be like, hey, are you this is what they do on the apps. That's why I stopped using the app. I was like, this is stupid. People are asking like real questions like you might ask that at the end of a first date, you have kids, all this other stuff. They're asking it within the first 30 seconds. Do you have kids? Do you have kids? Do you have kids? Like what? How many? And that's what they were doing. And so it's just like kind of like you're judging before you even get to know a person. She could be a very dope woman. My therapist talks about this all the time. He said, I had a woman that she was the most amazing woman and she had several kids too. She was probably the best woman that I had out of all of my relationships. Okay, so we're going to move on. Ronnie says, I don't like the anti 50-50 woman. Just, okay, well, you say anti 50-50. Does that girl, does she still want She wants somebody to pay all the bills because the reasonable one, I can understand if you rule out 50-50 women, like the anti 50-50 woman, right? But if she say like I want him to pay most of the bills, is that bad? If she says, "Oh, I can do 30%, I could do 20%. I'm going to help in some kind of way. I'm going to save all the money. I'm going to do the investment." If she help in some kind of way, does that change things? Or like you see what I'm saying? Like 50-50 just seems like you're a very petty man. It's women here 50-50, and they know they're not going to get a fair deal when it comes to raising the children or having the baby. So what is the equivalent of having the baby if she got to do it all by herself? When you are breastfeeding and you got to take care of that baby by yourself because the baby can only have breast milk from you, what if the dad abandons you and you got to do it by yourself? So because women have been abandoned a lot, 50-50 feels like abandonment to them, or they're being greedy and they don't want to help at all, and that kind of means she don't really like you like that. I'm just saying. Because a fine man talking about 50-50, they're gonna be like, whatever you like. I'm just saying. She start making some different kind of rules. All right. So I hope I answered that question. Let's move on. All right. So men, they seem very unhappy. I talk. We have real conversations, and the men it's like, oh, we're trying to find out the problem. It's like, oh, the problem is that this and that, and women weren't raised to be wise, and they da da da. And then the one guy was like, oh, their mom told them to go finish college, and then they're laughing, and I'm like, why are you laughing at women's pain? Like if they made the wrong decisions. Do you know how many people that went to college and they don't have their dream job, but they were lied to? Like you never heard of propaganda. You never heard of radical feminism where they planted like these people went to school. Guys, I need y'all to understand the women. Okay, just understand where they're coming from. And are they taking it overboard? The feminists, yes, they're going way overboard. They turn into men haters. Leave them people alone because they're gonna be by themselves. Leave them alone. But there's women in the middle. So if you went to school and you were taught that white is right, and all y'all, you see how that mess got all across the world. The brainwashing is real. Then you were taught that women can do anything that men can do, and we don't want to do a lot of these things because we're not as strong as you guys, and we don't handle stress the same way. Like we fizzle out when y'all just like, give me more stress. You know, that's what your testosterone say. You probably be tired, but that's what your testosterone say. They were like, they like accomplishing things. Okay, women, we like to accomplish, and then we like to sit down. Okay, we need to sit down and relax. The woman is saying, I don't want to do 50-50 because that means I am committed to the rest of my life of working. Am I right? I know I'm right. And they don't want to, they want to be able to say, I went to law school, I went to middle school, but pretty soon I'm gonna sit down. And y'all like, nope, nope, you can't sit down. 50, you owe me 50%, lady. Think about it. I'm just saying. Put the 50-50 goggles on. And then when she give you 50, just be like, you are the one, my queen. Because you understand, okay? Just understand it from that point of view. If you were a woman, you'd be like, bro, you're the one supposed to be working. Why I'm supposed to break my back and have these kids? I want her supposed to have a double curse. So we just being silly. We don't get it. It's not, and then we want to see you struggle alone. That's not good. But we don't know no better. Anyway, so men are unhappy. The unhappiness that I see in the men is you're not a 10. Like y'all seem to treat people that are not the most gorgeous women on the outside horribly. Okay. Um, you don't like her complexion because that happens. You don't like that she's a 6 instead of a 10. You don't like how yeah, you just don't like the way she looks. You don't think she's as pretty as you can get, but this is what you can get. This is what likes you. I'm sorry, but y'all, as much as we have free will, I feel like God sends you options and you pick one. And, sometimes it's like the divine connection and all of that. But, if that woman is gorgeous, but she don't like you, she can never be your wife. You you're not going to get like y'all are being as delusional as the women when you keep going for the tens, and you're not where a 10 would want you to be. And that's the issue. And so women feel offended that, well, it's not about the outside, it's about the inside. And some of them are the most kindest, beautiful spirit women. And some guys don't want to give them a chance because it's just like they're not the prettiest, or they're not the right race, or they're not the right color or complexion. And so you don't have everything together. You may be a little have a couple extra pounds. Your paycheck might come in light. If you're asking her to make exceptions for you, then you need to make exceptions for her. I think it's fair that both people are not perfect. Why do we want perfection? We are being greedy. If you're average, let me tell you something. If you're not out the gate busting out, a lot of people come into real estate and they don't make $1 million a year. They come in, they think they're about to take over, and they end up making like $10,000. They end up making, or if they killing it, they just make an average income. But very few people make it past six figures. I'm sorry, but they don't. You're average. And a lot of us are average. Accept it and move on. Stop expecting better than what you are, because that's greedy. All right. Another thing men are unhappy about: the all black women thing. The all black women thing. All black women, they just gold diggers. All black women are just da 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 da. Do you know that now the white podcasters are coming out and disrespecting black women as well? So while y'all talking about y'all image black men, and I, where were you at in the 70s and the 80s when our image were being tarnished? Like our image was being tarnished too. We were being sexually exploited. Everything the black man has received, the black woman was right there getting her version of it too. And unless it was mass incarceration, that we cannot say. But we had to raise the kids while the men were in jail. So we feel everything that the black man feel. But the question is, does the black man feel what we have to go through? And that's the part where empathy has to come in, and compassion. If y'all have that understanding, y'all become better men in my eyes, and that's the man I'm going to promote to get married. That's not It's not the man that has the biggest paycheck, it's the man that has the biggest heart. Girl, you on fire. Girl, fire emoji. Okay, it's the man with the biggest heart. It's the man that, even though he's going through a hard time, he's still going to make sure you're good. Sorry. He's always going to make sure you're straight. I haven't cried on the show for forever. Okay. So, yeah, moving on. Yeah, but please stop with the all black women. They just want to this and that. All black women, and you're not giving the good women no credit. There's so many different type of women in the black community. They're all not the same thing. We don't all pop our necks. Well, we pop our necks, but we don't we don't all speak the same way. We're not all from the same neighborhood. We do not all have BBLs. We do not all have baby daddies left and right. We do not all, like, some of us got married and had our children. Some of us did it that, and but then it's like, oh, but you got divorced. It's like you always have to have a gotcha moment. Black men, y'all got to stop. The immaturity level is at an all-time high on the women's side and on the man's side. I'm just speaking from my heart. It's just get tiring. And when you hear that, you're not the women are going to be hopeless. If y'all keep on, you know how a father can berate a daughter and just harping on her, harping. That's what y'all doing to these women. And even if she's like not she's failing and disappointing in life, and maybe she was a teenage mother, it does not mean she cannot recover later in life. And sometimes I feel like the men may regret this later on, the whole getting on the women so bad that they feel hopeless. And what they're doing is saying, I don't want to be with a man at all. And I'm not saying that's your fault, because that's radical feminism at work. It was poison fed to us. And now, but if our men is co-signing it and saying that's why y'all ain't nothing. That's why all y'all's fat. That's why all y'all's baby mamas. That's why all, if y'all doing that kind of stuff, and always putting us down. Oh, let's go to white girls. Let's do. I'm like, y'all have a whole set of can of worms waiting for you. Go ahead. That's your solution. If you go to white woman and then something go down and she call the cops and something crazy happen, that happens all the time. And I'm not saying that happen in every situation, but that is something you will have to consider, right? If you go and you want to be a passport bro, that the people that's being set up and murdered and all that stuff, that is something you have to consider. It may not happen to you. I don't want it to happen to you. But sitting here dealing with us while we get our act together is not such a bad option, okay? But we got to stop with the all black women's thing. All right, so unsatisfied. Women are unsatisfied because they say they like bad boys. Women are unsatisfied because they say like bad boys. Women are unsatisfied because the normal guy is boring. Women don't like a normal relationship. They like too much. Like I'm watching Jane the Virgin, okay? And it's like a telenovela, right? It's like a soap opera. It's like we want a soap opera, a love story that will never end. And then it's always a love triangle. Do you want to be part of a love triangle? Think about it, sis. You don't want to be part of no love triangle with somebody else just because you wanted to be with somebody in a higher tax bracket than you. I was talking on the panel and I was like, listen, what if the women, they're not just trying to be gold diggers? Maybe they're trying to secure their financial future because they know they're going to get older. They know they're not going to have enough strength to keep working to the last days, and they just want to secure them their income. Now, I'm not saying they're not being greedy and running away with the money unnecessarily, but maybe it's their maybe it's when it's just like the time when they offered welfare to the woman and she accepted it and she had to turn her back on the man, but it was set up that way, right? It was like, oh, the man can't stay in the house. Like if bigger forces are behind this, this is why you can explain it. Like stop acting like women just want to hurt men all the time. Yes, there are misanders, and there's a lot of them lately. But at the same time, all women do not hate men. If they hate men, why they want to be married so bad? Sometimes I just need y'all to put two and two together. It's like when you have a best friend and somebody trying to pull your best friend away and they talking a lot of trash and you're just like, "Why, woman, why you acting like this?" But it's the person that's feeding them the garbage that's making their behavior change. Why don't y'all understand that women are very easily influenced? We are easily influenced by messaging. That's why we say, why I can't be the why can't why do I have to look at the other women? Why would a beauty standard that is not us affect us if we're not easily influenced? We're tired of seeing this other thing that don't look nothing like us to be the beauty standard. But it shouldn't matter. We should love ourselves anyway, but we're easily influenced at times, not all the time. We do have a brain. But you know what I'm trying to say. Am I wrong? What do y'all think so far? Okay. So we're talking about greed tonight. All right. So women get unsatisfied because they say, I want a divorce because I don't have the feels for you no more. I don't like you like that. I want to be free. I never had my hot girl summer. That is selfish. And that's like you built something with somebody and you're taking a sledgehammer and tearing it all down, taking half the bricks and leaving and acting like, well, what happened to the family? I just wanted a divorce. Y'all see how stupid that is? That's crazy. That is crazy. Other women, I'm one of them that will fight like hell to keep her marriage together so that way the kids will be okay. And, you're just like, whatever. I want my kids to grow up a certain kind of way and this and then the third, and it still don't work out. But I didn't, I ain't just throwing a towel like, you know what? You just get on my nerves today. Let me go ahead and get a divorce. I'm like, what? That's nuts. And then want them back. What? There's no taking you back, baby. That's crazy. All right, moving on. Sorry. But I'm not talking about divorce because of abuse. I'm not talking about a divorce because of constant cheating. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm not saying give them a pass, ladies. But really think about it. If you one incident will cost you everything. Um, we don't want that. That's why you want to make sure your relationship's always on point. And if that person still does it, then they have that character flaw. Then do your thing. All right. Or we unsatisfied because we don't want to get into a relationship because they don't want to pay any bills at all. We don't pay want to pay no bills, none. We don't got to be adult too. When it takes two, you know that these houses is gonna take two incomes to buy that house. He got you that house. He got with you to get that house. That's something you wanted. You didn't want to stay in no apartment. No woman does. But once he does that, like I do for you, you do for me. Okay, you wanted the upgrade, help me out a little bit. And that's all the men are asking because they're not just handing them jobs out like tic tacs like you think, lady. They are keeping the good ones for themselves and giving them the leftovers, baby. You gotta understand where you at. Once you start understanding the plight of a black man, I'm telling you, you're going to change your mind. Like, dang, I mean, I ain't get it. Everybody think that everybody has equal opportunity, and they actually don't. The harder your circumstances is, the harder norm. See, this is the thing. You know what it is too? Like a lot of black men have so many different obstacles. So like not going to jail, not like having no record. Like for a white man, it's like duh, not having a record. That's their normal. But our normal is not. We are targeted. We do get into crime. Our men do have to face, another man trying to attack them, and they have to defend their family members, and they end up in all of these things can happen to them. All of these things can happen to them. And so they're normal. Like if doing good as a black man is no record. I never been arrested. You should hear when they ain't never been arrested, baby. They talking. They said from their chat, I ain't never been arrested. Come on, tell me, is that the truth or not? And I'm happy for you, baby. And let's keep it that way, right? And so that's their normal. So we women is like, well, I never been arrested. Ain't nobody give me a cookie, but you're not a man. You're not a man. All of the threats, all of the craziness that's coming at you. And so we get that part. Then you have to understand when women are making when they're in the middle of their bad decisions, women don't have to think about, do I want to sell drugs? Do I want to go be a pimp? Like we don't have these same situations. We just don't. But our situations will be, look, all these people want access to me. I'm the hot young thing right now. And they get themselves into trouble. Their trouble is different. But guess what? When they have that baby, they cannot go back and like, you know what? I love you so much. I'll just kill my child for you. No, I just murk my kid for you because I love you and I know you don't want somebody with no kids. That's irreversible. And yet you want to hold her past against her, but you want me to take you with a record. I'm done. God dang. What? Like I want a man with no record. I want every man. If you have a record, you are not allowed to say you don't want a single mom. Oh, I'm gonna get you one with just one kid. As many times you've been to jail, I'm gonna give you. You what? You've been to jail 2 times. That's two kids. That's two kids. Let's stop acting like hypocrites here. Let's stop acting like hypocrites here. If you a woman and you don't have a car or you don't have a good job, stop expecting the man to make 6 figures. You're a hypocrite. You don't even got that. Cut it out. Only woman I want to hear running their mouth about 6 figures is girls with 6 figures. Shut it up unless you have that. You don't even have that. And you want that from a man. Like you don't see how they're great. Don't you feel that stupid? Hey, anyway, I love y'all. I really do. But it's like, don't try to pin me in a box. Well, how many dates have you been on? Because if you a hot thing, a hot commodity, I want to see like 5 to 10 dates a month. If they coming for you like that, but if you know you haven't been on no date, you don't have a steady 2 dates, a new guy every single. Hey, Shelton, how are you? If you don't have 2 dates, every minimum 2 dates a month, new guy, please stop acting like you gonna get you somebody that's up here. I don't care if that's 6 figures. I don't care if that's 60,000. I don't care if that's $1 million guy. If they're not coming for you on a daily basis, every day you walk out the house. She said, I make a viral video every time I walk out the house. Shout out to Six Goddess. I go viral when I step my foot out the door. Okay, I'm feeling you, girl. I'm feeling you. If they don't, people just stop and stare, right? And smile at you, baby girl. You need to make some concessions. I'm just saying. Okay. Leon says, thank you. I totally agree. It's just so hard being a black man and just trying to win. Thank you. Well, see, here's the thing, Leon, and I appreciate that. You see how it took so much I had to move out of a woman's thinking to see what the black man is going through, and that made it more appealing to the black man. That's the same thing women want for the woman. see it from our point of view as well. Like what a woman could just honestly just make one. Did you see? Remember 90210 and the girl had sex for the first time and she had a baby? I was like, now how often does that happen? It happens. Like everybody's having sex, but then when the woman get caught up with the baby, you gonna judge? That just don't sound right to me. Another thing I got to go off on. Y'all want to judge women on their bodies, but you don't want nobody to judge you on your bodies. It don't matter. It don't matter. I'm a man. Let me tell you something. It matters. It matters to a woman. A man is supposed to have. Nobody's going to tell you this, but a man's supposed to have one wife, and that's the only woman he's supposed to have sex with. So y'all was supposed to be virgins too. Why nobody talking about that? Why? Huh? Only the woman have to be a virgin? Y'all not virgins. Coming from a man that sleep with anything walking. Do you see how crazy? Who's going to follow that type of leadership? Ask yourself. I'm sorry. I have a woman bishop. I don't have to worry about scandals or her sleeping around with this or scandals happening. It'd be the first time in history if it happens to me. I never put it past nobody, but I don't think so. I don't have to worry about that. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about certain things. So sometimes we are right. Leon says, but there are a lot of felons with great jobs and take care of their families, and they can still can be picky for a spouse. I know a lot of doctors, lawyers, and nurses with records and still work and provide and are selective for a spouse. They are selective. Are they getting married? Maybe the men are getting married, right? He said apostolic preaching. I really don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't know my denominations and stuff. Um, okay. Apostolic means go from place to place to place. So that means the guy sleeping with this girl and that girl in the church. I get it. All right, I got it. I got it. So I think what the part that hurts for a woman is that we cannot just say, I want to get married. Even though we're the ones that want to get married, we kind of plan ourselves by not sticking to our standard and like keeping our legs closed because the men can do whatever they want and pick a wife. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to get the best wife in the world because the wife with the standards, she's not going to take any old riffraff too. So what I was trying to say was a man with a lot of bodies, like a woman, like you see, the reason why I said no pretty boys is because I believe they had a high body count. That was a revelation. That's a revelation right here live. Okay. That's why I said no to pretty boys. Like if they was very like if they were 10, I never ever ever was attracted or like they were attractive, but I never was like putting myself to be in their way. They left me alone. I left them alone. Don't mean I couldn't get them because after a while I was like positioned to, but I was like, no, I'm not doing that because it seemed like they would have a higher body count and nobody cared. And I'm like, I care because if mine is low, yours better be low too. And women quietly may judge you in their head. They might not say nothing to you. And so when you say there's a lot of felons with great jobs, that's basically saying that a man was one way and then he changed and became a better man. So, do you see how hypocritical that is for you to say a woman was one way, but she is going to be judged forever that way? You see how that's crazy? That she can had a child out of wedlock, or she got married and divorced and had a child or children, right? And then she's getting judged for trying to do the right thing and it didn't work out. She's getting judged for falling into the trap of boyfriend and girlfriend. It's the men that be like pressuring you to have women don't be like, okay, unless you're a loose woman, you're like, woohoo, let's go have sex the first time I meet you. They don't like that. They're getting pressured to be like, hey, when you gonna give me some? When you gonna give me some? When we get and she's thinking she's gonna get a ring if she does it. That's how it used to go. I can't tell you nothing about these 2024 girls. That's how it used to go. Now they're like, we want to have it as bad as they do. They're just trying to be men. And that's just the pain talking. And guess what? I'm not trying to save them. There's no way. I'm not. The only woman, I'm gonna sit on my square. And if a woman come to me that have this misandrous past, if she used to hate men, Okay, she used to hate men and she don't want to hate them no more. She used to be sleeping around and she don't want to sleep around no more. She used to make blame men for everything and she don't. If she comes to me and wants help, I will help her. But I'm not trying to trick or convince any woman that doesn't want to be married to be married. I'm not trying to change none of these girls. Okay, not at all. Who's Julie? Okay, Julie. She want to be on the live. Okay, so no, he said apostolic means holiness with God, but marriage, what do you say? But marriage, hmm. Hello. You wanted to be on live?
I can't even hear you.
You wanted to be on live? You was okay, go ahead. You had a question or comment? Oh, she didn't mean to. Oh, okay, you didn't mean to? Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, it said you hit the request button. Okay. Okay, just can you drop it? I don't know how to drop it. I still don't know how to do that. I think you have to hang up. No problem. If you could just end it and then come back on, because I can't drop it. Hold on, y'all. There you go. It's okay, Julie. Thank you, though. He says no. Apostolic meaning holiness with God, but marriage, everyone should be virgins. Both. Thank you. You know who would say something like that? A man that read his Bible, Leon. Do you see? Listen. I agree with you. Also, body count. I dated a female and she told me she had 23 men before 25. Oh, wow. She was the best girlfriend I had besides my wife now. But body count should not be a problem. Exactly. Um, so what I say is the culture. See, this hurt my feelings. I'm sorry. The culture, because I know girls in high school now are having sex. And if she was how old? 25. Okay, 23 men by 25. If she started having sex at 15, which some of them are, that's 10 years. And 23 men, that's 2 to 3 men, 2.3 men a year. A year. But the culture is like every date you go on, have a sex, this and that. And so what I'm trying to say is women get requests all the time or they are pressured sometimes. She said, okay, you said no, she started at 21. She waited all the way to 21 and then started having so it's 4 years. Okay. 4 years she had I can't do math right now. Hold on. 4 years. Okay, 23 men, 23 blah, blah. Okay, so 5 to 6 a year. Yeah, that's like every other month. I had used this as an example. I said if a girl sleep with somebody, they go on a date, and men are expecting sex within 2 weeks. Out of your mouth. Out of your mouth, you expect a woman to have sex with you in 2 weeks. Now, what had happened was I thought it was the men uh pressuring the women to have sex with them. But no, it's the women saying they're sexually liberated and free, and it could go both back and forth. I'm not saying it's one way or the other, but you got to understand women have a lot to do with this because you have the woman cannot be forced. So she's agreeing to it. But I do account for the they be pressuring sometimes. They be all up on that neck here and there. The one guy was like, if I kiss her right here, her jaw is coming down. I was like, oh my gosh, what are y'all here? All right, Shelton, do you have anything that you want to add? Thank you, Leon. Keep him coming. All right, but you said and she was the best girlfriend I had, and before I'm okay, yeah. So yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like you gave her a shot, you didn't judge her. Like they didn't know. Like once you now after 2024, y'all are free to judge anybody, starting at 22 or whatever, if they're not virgins or if they're not like they didn't know. That was propaganda. Go have sex. Sex in the City is going to have sex. The movie says go have sex. Sex on the first night. Sleeping was a one night stands was a thing. It was like, you never had a one night stand? Like no, I didn't have a one night stand. Maybe I should have one night stand. I have a crush. Let me get. Do you see how that works? don't know. I'm sorry, but I used to think like women, what? We're amazing smart. We know everything. What? I used to think that. And then I didn't even understand the concept of you ask a guy to come to your house, that means you're inviting him in for sex. We was like, no, we was gonna watch a movie. That shows you the naivete in a woman's mind. And it could have started like that. It could have started like that. And then she kept meeting guy after guy that was not respecting her for one reason or the other because the other things that she was doing wrong. But she learned it from society. She learned it from her mom being a single mom and her mom acting wrong. She learned it from her auntie acting wrong. She learned it from her friends acting wrong. She learned from the TV acting wrong. I need y'all to understand how deep this goes. So if you are judging a man for selling drugs on the street, you got to understand some of them guys don't even think they're going to make it alive by 21. So what is drugs? That's the mindset and the mentality in the environment. If it can hurt the men and they actually kill each other over this mentality, why would you think women would just, oh, we just gonna know better? We just gonna know better. Some of us had something and somebody to guide us, and that's why we didn't do it. Some situation prevented us from messing up because we go by our emotions a lot. He said, Leon said, it bothered me at first. She dated a lot of drug dealers, and I was the only one she dated that worked and had a full time job, and it was a great relationship. Women are my vocal and act like men, meaning aggressive for sex, and that's a turnoff. Wait, women are you say my vocal? Okay. You said they act like men, meaning aggressive for sex. Okay. So you don't want her to be initiating all the time. Yeah, it's like, girl, calm down. But some men would challenge you on that one, Leon. But yeah, sometimes women tell men just hit and quit, and she goes to men. Women acting like men. That's it. Women are acting like men. And do how do we miss the part where the men ain't acting right? We're wrong for following you, but if y'all acting wrong, but it's not all men. It's just those top tier. You know the top tier guys, okay? There's very few of them have good character. Um Not all of them. I shouldn't say very few. A lot of them want to deal in bad faith when it comes to women when they make it. They want to have I saw a cult leader. Oh my gosh, this is so disturbing. He was cursing at the girl. He had all the girls on their knees. One was rubbing his foot. It was like five girls in there. There's all types of drawings on their face and stuff like that. And he was calling her the B word. And he was like, "What is you doing over there?" She's like, "I'm on my iPad. You know what she's doing? She's rubbing my feet. Why you just can't do something?" And she's just like, "Okay," grabbing the oil to rub his feet. That right there. I know I'm right when I say we are easily influenced. We are built like that. We're built to follow. Sometimes we can lead. Sometimes experience let us lead. Sometimes work experience or life experience help us to break out of that. But we really be wanting to follow. And I go through things in business a lot of times. If I was a man, I would be twice as far because that self-doubt be really kicking in. That I gotta see somebody else do it. I said that to somebody that's like, I'm a man, I never say that. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong. Why am I not doing it? If I see somebody else doing it, then I could go do it. That's literally a leader's telling you that this is what she's struggling with. That she had to see somebody do it so she can believe that it's possible for herself. And I'm sure some men are like that too. They got to see it to believe it. But some of these men, they just have the idea in their mind. They just go hard and they know they're gonna make it. But also life teaches them like, hey, put you in all these circumstances where you already learned that early on. He says a lot of women love bad boys or street men and truly think 9 to 5 men are boring and suckers. Did I have that? I said that. Unsatisfied. They like bad boys and normal guys are boring. Your girl's on point. She's on point, Leon. All right, so I know what I'm talking about. The last woman took Okay, this is what the men are unsatisfied with. They don't want to get married because the last woman took half. They don't want to be in a relationship because the last woman took her kids. Um, they believe women are gold diggers. They feel like they have money and they deserve to have multiple women. This is the unhappiness that I see in the men. Okay. So, what topics prove what I'm saying? When they talk about, is it $50 enough for a date? Like, that's too little for a date. That's the greed part. Like, how much money do you want him to spend on the first date? Right. And women, like, we don't want coffee. Like, I'm one of those not doing coffee for me. We're gonna do coffee and something else. Like, what we doing? Okay. I just like, I don't know who you trying to play, sir. Okay. Like, I had one of my relationships. I used to go to IHOP. Like, I was not like that girl that was like trying to like count your pockets or anything like that, But sometimes you feel like a certain type of way. But like, why would you do this for another woman that's demanding? You see how you say the bad boys, they don't like bad boys? So I was feeling like I was losing because I wasn't playing the bad girl role. You see what I'm saying? Like, good girls want to be bad girls. Oh, maybe that's what it is. The good girls want to be bad girls now. Yeah, that's it. They want to be they and the bad girls act like the men. They be the cold-hearted ones. They be the one running game. I know I'm on it. Okay. So first date has to be expensive. That's how you know it's greed. Oh, you need to take me to Ruth Chris on a first date. That's greed. How you don't even know this person and you're trying to get everything up front. You know what it is? It's that instant gratification. And I say that for me, it's like I would rather have the boyfriend, right, title, so that way we can always go out to eat and we can always do such and such. But you're so pressed to get a guy to give you something on a first date. You know why? Because you want to take from him, take from him, take from him, take from him. You want to see how much you can get. Who's going to be the biggest sucker? And that's how you can tell a greedy woman. Like, for real. A greedy man says, I got my stuff together, and not only should I have one pretty girl, I should have multiple pretty girls. I need my side piece. You know me, I'm better than most men. Da, 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 da. And guess what? The women doing? They're following the men and they're saying, I have no kids. So I want a man that has six figures. I like, first of all, women are, when you're born beautiful, you didn't do that to yourself. That was a gift. Receive that well, sis. You know God will humble you. We talked about pride last week. Go check out the last show. Make sure you share this live and share this with your friends if you enjoyed it. All right. He has to make six figures. The 666 thing, 6 feet, six figures, and what is it? Six pack, right? So the guy can't even just be like a guy. Like, I really don't, if you had a six pack guy, do you really be asking for six pack guys? I didn't never want a six pack guy because I felt like he was going to work me to death and he was going, like, he was a trainer and he wanted to make me eat salads all the time. I was like, nah, I'm good. And listen, can he just be like not fat? Can he just be like this? Anyway, move on. All right. Perhaps we are addicted to the process of falling in love and getting married, but not being satisfied with marriage in general. So we are addicted to falling in love. That's why they leave the boring guy. I just answered the question. That's it. Another discovery. They leave the boring guy so they can start again and fall in love all over again. Because one of the fears I had a fear of, if we date, but in our dating phase, women complain that the men stop taking them out, stop doing nice things for them. Okay. So just like the men, I see how foolish that is now. Just like the men, and they do it, but just like the men be like, oh, it was hot and heavy sex, and then it stopped. Just like that, we have a fear of y'all not treating us and being romantic with us, right? And so some of us. And yeah, so I just was like, well, I want to just date a bunch of people and I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna here. It's just like, you watch these TV shows and they're always getting dressed for a date. And I'm like, after a while, you be like, yo, I'm tired of like getting dressed up and then meeting somebody new and then I don't like them. It's not all what it's cracked up to be. But they're leaving men that will be good partners The boring guy is the right guy. The boring woman is the right woman. They just chilling. No drama. It's all peace. It's all love. What is the problem? What is the problem? Ain't no problem. Stop making it a problem. Anyway, so when we or we want to get married, like these celebrity girls that keep getting married again and again, the Kim K's, and it was a Portia girl. She got married. They always seem to marry a scammer, and that's just goes. The bad boy is now the guy with money. Y'all not seeing that? Yo, this too many revelations on. The bad guy is the guy. The bad guy and the guy with money give you the same type of stimulation. The bad guy and the guy with money give you the same type of stimulation. And you want him to do this and that and go here. You want the drama, you want the action, you want to fly here, you want to go there. And oh my gosh, I will get the Bentley and I'm gonna get the Rolls Royce and I'm doing this. Look at me. I get what I deserve. You're finding your self-esteem in a man's money that ain't yours. You're finding your self-esteem. That's why women say I want a man with six figures because that means I'm worth. That is determining my worth. That my man now determines how society views me. If I don't get a guy with six figures, then all the women will laugh at me. Tell me I'm lying. All the women will laugh at me. And that's why we go for titles and not real salary. That's why you don't want the plumber because you don't like the title of his job. It's not glamorous, but you want the office manager and he might make less than the plumber. It don't make sense, but we're going for status. And not just the status of what society says, we're going by what the sisterhood says. You see how that can be tricky? You're the one that got to go home with him. You're the one that got to make sure he stay faithful when you want to get the guy with a bunch of money and that cannot keep it in his hands. Like you got to know they come together, unless he can prove it to you. So, and men with money don't like when women wait to till they have it, and they always believe in the back of their mind that you are like kind of disposable. That's real, Ruth. They think you're disposable because they didn't need you to get the money. Now, the man that needed you because y'all built together, the man that needed y'all because y'all built together, he most likely not gonna go nowhere. Men don't go nowhere in general. I don't know why women anytime that's how you can tell him a Sandra Scott. I don't know. He's still gonna leave you. He's still gonna cheat on you. Yeah, the drug dealer is. But guys don't be leaving girls. Guys do not break up with women. Good guys do not break up with women. Sometimes I'll be like, bro, just let me know. If you I'll be like, I'll be having a talk. The talk is if you ever get tired of me, let me know. That if you ever don't want to be here, I will be gone by the morning. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't want nobody stringing me along. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. Am I gonna miss you? Probably, but I will be over you. And the guy, and then me and my kids gonna be like the name that shall not be named. You will be known as the name that shall not be named. Real talk, and that's it. And we gonna end up forgetting about you, and that's that. And they be like, "I don't even miss you that much. I miss the kids." I thought I was a single mom. How you care about my kids? Leave me alone. I know they great. That's why I had them. Okay, moving on. I don't care. Listen, Ruth always gonna have her. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. This single mom gonna care. It was not the plan, but that's what life gave me. But guess what? I'm still getting mine. Moving on. Just like you said, the ex felon or whatever, they changed their life. I'm moving on and changing mine. And I can do that because God got my back. All right. Addiction is there's a feeling of pleasure that comes from the process. There's a feeling of pleasure that comes from the process, not necessarily the destination. So this is an addiction to greed. I want more. Oh, you have a 9 to 5. I want more than a 9 to 5. I want you to start your own business, and that business better be successful. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. Like the greed get real. We need a bigger house. It's like you want a bigger. We've had this conversation on the panel, and it was like, if your wife is like, "Oh, I don't see you a lot," right? And she's like complaining, like, "I don't see you." And then you cut your hours, and then you're like, "Okay, I'm here now." I'm more likely 6 months later, she's like, Why are we in this trouble? Why do we have to downgrade? Or why can't we move, have a better life? And you're like, because I cut my hours. And then, putting the job on the line. And then you risk her leaving you anyway. You risk her leaving you anyway. So what was the point? So that's why I said sometimes men have to know when to just acknowledge her feelings, but not just listen to whatever she say as the solution. If you, especially if you know that solution is to your detriment. I had a situation where I was like, I'm just gonna listen to what the kids say, like this is da. I listened to them kids and they had me so out there. I was like, this is why I need a man. That's it. Changed my life. I said, I need a man because if I am in charge, right? And I'm not saying I make bad decisions, but emotional, like let's say, like in your business, you're gonna do what's best for the business. But in your life, you're gonna do whatever you want, okay? And if I just go out of control, I need them like, okay, these are the boundaries. You can go wherever you want in here, Ruth, but stay right here. Child, I was gonna move to LA. I was gonna do a bunch of stuff. I'm so glad I didn't do that. But God always bring me back, so thank God for that. So yeah, radical feminism has so we talking about the bus driver and we about to wrap it up. The bus driver incident, right? What's that lady's name? This won't come to me. The lady that was like, I don't want to. Yana was asking her about the bus driver, like, would you date a bus driver? And she's like, men are not stepping up to the plate, and that's if you hear a woman say men are not stepping up to the plate, you need to run. Men are not stepping up to the plate. You need to run. This is why I tell guys, yes, you want a woman to have no kids, but they are most likely to be radical feminists because it happens in college or something along that line. And I don't know what happened, but they hate y'all. And so go ahead, pick a woman that hates you. That's fine. Do that. Or a woman that has already seen what life is like without that man there and can appreciate you. She's already cooking. She always has her little thing going on and y'all can figure out a way to merge. You just have to have a woman who knows how to prioritize you. Okay? So yeah, I mean greed is something that, like the Bible says keep your lives free from the love of money or greed. Be content with what you have. Be content with what you have. God never said if you're content, that's where you're going to stay. No, when you're content, you make whatever level you on the best. Ruth, you preaching right now. You make whatever level you on the best. You clean up. You decorate. You make it happen. I promise you, this is how I got through every job I wanted to get through. I did the best job I could on that level, and God blessed me with a better job, a better business, a better opportunity. Give it your all on the level that you have in contentment. And you're basically saying, thank you, God, for what you gave me. A lot of women are greedy because they want to go for the bag. Society taught them that you go for the bag and you secure the bag, and the greed is getting real in the United States. It's not just women, it's all types of people that just want to be greedy. Corporations want to be greedy, and women want to be greedy because they want to go to work, they want to keep all their money, they want the man to pay all the bills and break his back and neck and all of these things, which was fine before when the house was cheaper. If you had a house for $5,000, wasn't that much money to pay. If the house note was $500, y'all, okay, make that man pay the bills. But when the bills is like up to here and he need a partner help him to make it happen, y'all, what you're not understanding is when you're saying, oh, I hate 50-50 and all that stuff, you're saying we're always going to stay right here in this house because the man is going to be like, okay, what can I do to progress? I sat back and watched men. They always working on something new, a new project. I'm not putting down women. I know how to lift up women, or I'm sorry, I know how to lift up men without putting down women. I'm not saying we don't do that, but they're in the natural tendency of like making things better. Just like we're nurturers, they go around the house and fix the stuff around the house. Maybe sometimes a woman got to ask, maybe she don't. Maybe he's not worried about she's not worried about y'all work, but he is. He's worried about the brakes. Tell me I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. How the brakes on a car. A good man. Even if he can't fix it himself, he gonna make sure you going to the mechanic because he trying to make sure you're good. When we are greedy, we miss the man that will care for you more than his money. That's your bitch. Oh, this is good. It's a shame that millions of people can't watch it. It's all right. They gonna get it one day. And they'll be like, no, no, no. I don't do shows anymore. No, no, not for me. I did my time. I did it. You're like, bro, come on, give us something else. Mm-mm, no, no, go watch those last episodes. Okay, now I forgot the point, but I'm saying that men they will get on board. That's why I'm on the women because men will get on board. If they have a great woman, they would just turn into another person. Okay. And women, a lot of them will like if they have a great man, they go turn to another person. But the issue is the greed make them be like, he's a great man, but is he really a good man if he don't make money? See, this is the you see the good woman equals no kids, and the good man equals you have to have a lot of money. It's the it's the a different side of the same coin. So be careful when you're judging, because she gonna judge you right back. Okay, you can't be mad. So I would suggest the men take the sting out of it, the harm out of it, the labeling out of it. Just chill out. Just see if she's a good woman first, and then find out about her family life. If she's a bad mother, okay, I'm gonna be talking about these single women till y'all stop. Okay, I'm gonna be standing up and defending. I am the lawyer. Call me attorney Ruth. Call me attorney single mom. All of them ain't gonna be the right one because I ain't gonna let you discipline my kids, and I'm not gonna let you and how what kind of mother I would be, and they be the same ones. Don't care about the kids and don't feed them on time. But anyway, I move on. But yeah, there's a lot of good women that love their kids and they would love a good man. All right. Anyway, so don't let the greed get to you. Don't let America, Western civilization convince you that life is all about getting more stuff and more stuff. If it wasn't for the stuff, the women would be marrying you. If it wasn't for the stuff, the woman had to choose stay in the marriage or get the stuff, and she's choosing the stuff. This is what happening. Wait for the time to unravel. In time, the woman that chose the stuff is going to regret choosing the stuff and not the man. It's like choosing the golden egg and not the goose. The man is the goose. The good woman is the goose. Okay? Not the fact that you can bring her arm, look at my status. I didn't get me one of those. I didn't get me one of those. The good woman, no matter what she come with, whatever baggage she came with, you got your own baggage, but she know how to build with you and love you. You don't want to be loved, okay? Don't get love because you want to be judged. That sounds good to me, but I know I'm a catch. I like all of them guys be talking trash. If I be like, hey, I'm interested, they gonna drop all that. Listen, it's like no, not everyone, but I'm just saying it's some. Anybody have any questions before we close? We're talking about greed. We're talking about people being unhappy, unsatisfied, not settling down, not finding the love of their life because they're just not at the right place. They're just not at the right. They're not. What's the opposite of greed? Oh, okay, contentment. Ooh, contentment and happiness. See, you got to be happy within yourself, and you got to be content. Happy and content would chase away greed. And like I said, God will take you to the next level. God is not ashamed to give you whatever you desire and whatever you need. Okay. My mom built with a man. They got a 9-bedroom home in the suburbs, in one of the most expensive neighborhoods and outskirts of Philadelphia. Okay. She built with a man. They have all their kids together. I do have step brother, but have brother, whatever. But yeah, she built with a man. She loved her man. He wasn't perfect. She wasn't perfect, but they made it work. And on that note, I got to go. Thank you so much for watching Ruth and Relationships. Ruth and Relationships. Tell me, can you handle it? It's the Ruth and Relationship Show. Bye. Let me know how you like the show, what you agree with, what you don't agree with. I will talk to you guys in the comment section. Bye.